Here we go, baby. Yeah, Neanderthal podcast. My main man Curtis here.
Yo,
Thank you so much for being here.
not a problem.
Appreciate it.
Yeah, my pleasure. Good to see you again.
Very good to see you. It's been a while.
It has.
Your
Well,
reception.
I saw you. Yeah, I saw you
thing?
last summer.
Okay.
Was that last summer? No, that was 2 summers ago.
Okay, I thought so.
And then prior to that, not for. It's been a few years now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I follow you on Instagram.
I follow you as well.
You're very kind on Instagram.
Oh, thank you.
You're always throwing me hearts.
Oh
It's one of my few consistent Instagram lovers.
yeah. I try to spread the love.
I can tell.
Spread the love. I want the love back. So
It is funny. Like I was on somebody else's podcast a few weeks ago, and I was talking about like how we all have an infinite amount of currency when it comes to like the internet. Like sharing just liking something is a form of currency.
yeah.
Because whether you want to admit it or not, a lot of people that are Instagram people, they're doing it for those likes because
Oh, yeah.
they get something out of it.
Yeah.
And I'm not gonna lie, I get a little something
Oh,
out of it.
it feels good when you see that number start climbing.
Yeah.
You get a little self-satisfaction, like people actually care about shit I do or post. So
Yeah.
it validates your existence of the internet.
It's a good way to say it. Yeah. Yeah. I was talking. Yeah, where was I? Yeah, about the podcast. I was just saying, if you want, we're all basically billionaires, because I can give you some love just by clicking something.
Oh,
Big
yeah.
deal. That's nothing.
Yeah, it's nothing to some.
Yeah.
Uh,
Some people are stingy with it, aren't
Oh
they?
yeah, they are.
What is that about?
I don't know.
They're too cool.
self-
You think they're just too
Seniority
cool?
of yeah.
Yeah.
They're just that 2 seconds it takes to like something
It's not even
of
2
yours.
seconds.
It's
Yeah.
just not worth their time. The internet's too expansive. They could have been those 2 seconds. They could have
No, I guess
Googled something awesome.
I guess you're right. I didn't think about that, but there is that that instant gratification that maybe they're just not instantly gratified, and the attention span of someone scrolling through any social media site is so quick.
Yeah. I mean, that's part of it. I mean, even if it's a bullshit post, something I don't care about. You know, if it's a buddy of mine or somebody that, I feel like, hey, they're gonna eventually look at this. They're gonna know
Right.
that you took the time to actually care
yeah.
about something they posted.
I love it.
Whether it's something you're into or not. I
Right.
mean, show them that love and
Hey, I'm here. Hey, I acknowledge. Hey, I see your stuff.
yeah, exactly.
That's part of it too.
Oh,
Just
yeah.
like my stuff, just so I know people are looking at it.
Yeah.
That's kind of nice too.
Yeah, you need some sort of validation, I suppose. I mean, if you put any sort of effort into, posting this onto whatever social media it may be,
Right.
I mean, some type of validation that your efforts aren't wasted makes you feel better about it.
Yeah. Yeah. So everybody, you're all billionaires out there. Throw that like currency around.
Hit that heart button.
Hit the heart button. And then if you want to be like,
Thumbs up this video.
and if you want to make it rain, make a comment.
Oh,
That's like making it rain in the club.
Oh, even better yet, subscribe.
Oh, now that is like you bought the club and all the strippers are
Balling.
coming home with you. I subscribe. Yeah. I don't ever, I very rarely, I don't think there's a single podcast that I've done yet where I've asked people to subscribe. I did a trailer.
People, subscribe now.
Yeah. Yes, please. No, really. People subscribe to my YouTube or the audio version, iTunes, Google Play, wherever. I got it everywhere.
Everywhere.
Baby. We taking this shit to the top. Maybe
Yeah.
not. So what is it's Curtis, not Kurt.
Yeah, something like that.
That's your Instagram?
It is at the moment.
Are you thinking about changing it
Oh, you never know.
because of your new ride out there?
Oh, well, I was thinking about doing something separate for that.
Yeah.
I mean, I've kind of documented the build process, and I actually made a YouTube channel. I have no content at the moment.
But you just have the
It was
name.
just an idea, and that, hey, because I mean,
Let's tell everybody first before we get too down
Yeah.
this rabbit hole. I knew it was. I went down to the farmer's market this morning and told Curtis to meet me at the studio here, and I was gonna beat him well in advance and get everything all nice and cleaned up and looking good for him. That didn't happen. I had to stop to get some of this coffee, which this is really good.
Well, thank you. Yeah, it's great. It's good stuff.
This is good. This is Kansas City's roastery coffee.
It's probably my favorite local roastery.
Oh, this is good.
Aside from Broadway and Parisi's pretty good too.
Ooh, Parisi is good.
Yeah.
Sidetracked. That's what happens to me.
Yeah.
You guys know that by now. So I'm driving home from the farmer's market and picking up the coffee or whatever, and I see this big, large Sprinter type, ProMaster type. It's bigger than a van. It's one of those giant
cargo
vans. You can walk in it. Behind me, and I was like, "That's Curtis. I just know it is." So I saw this big thing, and then it pulled up into my driveway, and it's just a big. You can explain it better to me, but it's awesome. This vehicle is. Explain what exactly that van is.
So basically, I bought it as a cargo van, and I've basically converted it into a tiny home. I mean, it's not fully built out yet. I mean, but still have some few things here to add.
You're more than midway done. You're more than like halfway through the project, or?
Yeah, I'd say I'm probably about halfway. A lot of the work that still needs to be done is things you can't see. I mean, I have a bed and cabinets, kitchens all finished up, and there's some minor touches as far as that stuff goes. But a big majority of the work left is stuff that it's not visible. We're talking solar panels, electrical system throughout, some plumbing.
Plumbing?
Yeah, you got to have a sink to clean your dishes. And
how about...
I'm not going to do gray water or black water tank. That's just nasty.
What's that? Is that for pooping and pissing?
Yeah. I've looked into a composting toilet.
Oh.
And yeah, it's much better than hauling around a black water tank, and much easier to deal with.
Having to empty that thing out and stuff.
Yeah. I'd much rather just take a little container out into nature and let it refertilize the earth.
Is human poop? That's not fertilizer, is it?
It is.
Is it good? All the nasty stuff.
I mean,
I would say
it also depends on your diet.
I was just stopping myself.
It puts out what you put in.
I was just stopping myself. Like, for the normal American, it's probably a horrible.
Oh yeah, terrible.
But for a guy like you, I'm
not the healthiest person. When
you're up in probably the top 3% of Americans.
That's really high.
I
try to take
highly
care
of
of myself.
you and your diet.
Oh, wow. Thanks.
I've always been impressed with your knowledge and your diet and just your lifestyle.
I know a little.
You know a lot, yeah. So okay, we're gonna add some plumbing into this beautiful beast.
Yeah. So most a lot of the furniture and stuff is built out, and it's basically a tiny home hidden under the facade of being a cargo van that you would see driving around anywhere, work trucks and whatnot.
Is that what you wanted? You wanted to kind of be inconspicuous?
Part of the I mean, part of the stealth is that's part of it. I mean, because I could have definitely gotten like a school bus and converted that just to get some extra room and make living a little more comfortable. But the stealth factor helps, as well as the van I got being able to get more remote places. I mean, I wouldn't be able to take a school bus down a dirt road in the middle of nowhere. And
plus, like, those school buses are pretty old. They probably have a lot of miles on those engines.
Yeah, they do. They do. But I mean,
probably a little bit more reliable.
Hopefully. I mean, I bought it with some miles on it, but hopefully.
But it's a newer age.
It is.
Like, what's the age of an old school bus? 30 years, 20 years?
It could be anything, but that's. But I mean, for people looking to do something like that, it's a factor of cost sometimes.
Yeah.
And I mean, if I didn't care about having to get to remote places and stuff like that, I would have sacrificed maybe some of the reliability for the extra space.
Okay.
Plus the cost of an old school bus versus
What is the name? What is a Ford?
So mine's actually the Ford Transit. The major ones out there, the Ford Transit, the Mercedes Sprinters, and
those are cool.
Yeah, and then the Dodge ProMasters, of course. I mean, they all have their pros and cons list, and you kind of gotta go through them. And big time. Yeah, I mean, I spent before I actually bought the van. I mean, I was looking into them for
days,
researching for probably the better part of a year, even.
Oh wow!
Before I actually finally
YouTube
pulled
videos,
the trigger on one.
Google articles.
Yeah, and then actually, getting out there and shopping and seeing what kind of price these things are, and they all have the pros and cons, and you kind of gotta weigh out what you're looking to do and what you're looking to spend on one, and then figure out how it works out for you.
And then you have all that extra money putting in.
Yeah. Then you gotta
it is so awesome.
Dump a ton of money into building it out once you actually buy the thing itself.
Customizing it yourself. That's what's awesome. Like that, those floors. I love that floor.
Yeah, thanks. I mean, the floor is actually one of the easiest things. I mean, because a van, it has curved walls. You can't frame everything out like you would on a house. You have no.
Or you'd lose a lot of space, right?
Yeah. I mean, you would lose a giant gap on each side of your walls. So you learn to build with the curve and utilize all that space you can. I mean, in such a small space, you don't want to waste a 6-inch gap. A 6-inch gap might not seem much like when you're framing out a house, but that's critical.
Yeah,
that's a huge space. You could
half a foot.
Yeah.
You
just lost your sock drawer.
Wow. Yeah. So, I was blown away. Like all the cabinets and everything. It just looks so awesome. And you want it. So, like I said, we were saying earlier about your Instagram. Like some of your more recent posts I've seen were like you rock climbing. Is that something?
Yeah.
I mean, you're like, are you free climbing? I didn't see one of your times where it didn't look like you were harnessed in or anything.
Well, so there's when it comes to rock climbing, there's kind of two major separations of sport. One being bouldering, and then one being sport climbing or trad climbing. The bouldering is typically unharnessed. Basically boulders that are anywhere from 10 to 20 feet or so. So when you're so if you take a fall, it's not
gonna hurt, but it's not gonna.
It's gonna hurt. It's not lethal, but we also have pads we carry around with us.
Oh really?
Oh yeah, they're foam pads. They're probably 4 inches thick or something like that, and they absorb a lot of fall. And
really, I didn't know that.
Yeah, and when you won't see it in the pictures, but when you're bouldering, you also have spotters too. So if you're falling off from an awkward position, they're gonna straighten you out when you're falling, so that way you hit the ground nice and level, so you don't twist your ankle and stuff.
How? Like they're like in midair, they're gonna quickly give you a nudge or something?
Yeah. Like, so say if you're falling toward your back, they're gonna grab your back or like catch your back,
okay,
so that so you're landing straighter when you're coming down rather than falling on your back. So yeah, it's I mean, usually we have a good crew out there, like, so when you're going out, you usually have a group of people, so you have several people spotting you when things get a little hairy. You don't always use spotters. I mean, it's basically on routes that are actually really hard, or might have a spicy top out where
spicy.
Yeah, spicy. That's like when things are a little more sketchy. Once you're once you're like 15, 20 feet off the deck, then your nerves get on you. Even when you can climb these things.
Yeah.
Like, even though when you have the physical ability, there's a mental aspect to it as well.
Well, I imagine that's part of the reason why you're doing it.
Yeah. A lot of it's like, puzzle solving and problem solving. So it's not all purely physical. And so that's what kind of makes climbing really fun sport. It's the mental plus physical aspect that's like kind of all combined.
These different sports like that, with so many different that are like like these fringe sports, or like 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 I was a big disc golfer, and it's funny when you get involved with these niche sports that have all these weird things that you wouldn't normally think about. It's like I like hearing all those different the small little details about those sports is awesome. Like I never thought about putting pads down. That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
And then you're having like people catch you, like I don't know, twist you in the middle of your fall or be there. That's funny. So how do you even get started? Is it just something you just happen to know some climbers, or do you just go start climbing and hope someone's out there? Like how do you even get involved?
Yeah, I mean, we actually have quite a few local climbing gyms, as well as a couple outdoor spots.
Okay. That makes sense.
The gym is like probably the most.
I didn't even think about that. You go there and you meet other people.
Yeah, that's kind of the easiest way to get into it. I mean, that's where a majority of people learn about it.
Safest way.
Mm-hmm. I don't know, maybe a kid's having a birthday party and you get invited to this birthday party and there's 20 kids that know nothing about climbing, and then all of a sudden they're in love with this weird new sport. I mean, that's the easiest way to find out about things.
Yeah.
When I moved out to Colorado, a friend of mine I met at the post office, we started doing a lot of snowboarding together, and he kind of got me into it. I mean, I had been a couple of times before here at our local gyms, and
yeah,
I mean, it was cool, but I never really got into it.
It's kind of hard around here. I mean, we don't have a ton of places to climb in Kansas City.
Yeah,
I mean, there are some. I've seen. We got a frisbee golf course at Cliff Drive.
Yeah, Cliff Drive. Yeah, it's one of our most easily accessible climbing areas.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, Cliff Drive. Yeah, I was gonna say it's right next to the golf course up there.
It's right in the middle of it.
Yeah. So there's a bit of climbing up there. We got some.
A bit of climbing in Colorado, just a little bit, huh?
Yeah. And I mean, and you can't really climb that thing except for fall and winter months, just because temperatures and humidity play a huge factor in when you're actually outdoor climbing.
Humidity does?
It does. It does. I mean, your skin
gets wet.
Yeah, once your skin gets wet, I mean, you're not gonna have a fun time.
That's what all that chalk's for. Just don't forget your chalk bag, right?
Yeah, that's right. You know a little bit about it.
Well, I've listened to a podcast or two with Alex Honnold.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
that's about my extent.
I see.
I mean, I'll climb a rock if I see it.
So what Alex Honnold does?
Alex Honnold is something else.
So basically, these little 10 to 20 foot boulders we climb with no ropes. He's doing no ropes on 3,000 foot vertical granite walls.
Well, that's what I was wondering. I saw some of your pictures, and at least they look like you're doing something like that.
Yeah. I mean, I do some sport climbing as well, and that's always rope thing. That's anytime we're going over 20 feet, I'm gonna be roped in, and I'm gonna have a belayer on my other side of me.
Yeah.
I'm fairly confident in my abilities sometimes, but it's not.
It's a safety thing. I mean, it's an insurance thing, right?
Yeah, and the mental factor is huge. Once you start getting that high off the ground, like
you freak yourself out.
Yeah.
Any one mistake, and then you're gonna put mistakes in your head, and
yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I guess you don't want that.
Once you start thinking about it, that's the worst part. It's just once those thoughts start coming in, they're gonna.
That's with any great sport or any great athlete. It's like when you stop thinking about it and just doing it, that's when you've reached the pinnacle, and that's how you mess up.
That's what determines the greats is not overthinking your own abilities and just doing.
Yeah. Well, I want to go rock climbing.
Let's go. I was gonna invite you down to the gym today.
Really?
Yeah. We can go after this.
Oh, okay. I was gonna say, here come my excuses. I can do. I'm out of shape right now. I was in literally 2.5, 3 months ago. I was in phenomenal shape. I'll show you a shirtless selfie in a minute.
No, let's get it up on the screen.
Yeah, right. No, really, I was doing over 100 push-ups a day and doing just a bunch of dumbbell. It doesn't matter. I can still do it. I can be weak.
Yeah, and it's not all about pure strength either.
Really?
Oh no, definitely not. I mean, if there was, say, a guy way stronger than me, if I take him rock climbing somewhere,
There's not many dudes way stronger than you. You're a strong dude.
I'm
You're pretty strong.
moderate at best.
You're pretty strong.
I mean, I haven't formally worked out in, I don't know, probably since I lived here. 4 or 5 years ago at least.
Yeah. But you're just, I mean, doing all that body weight stuff, climbing and stuff, is got to keep you in tip top.
Yeah, very
Are you
much,
still
very
bicycling
much so.
all the time?
I was.
Yeah.
I mean, when I was mostly commuting to work on a daily basis for the better part of the last few years.
Mm-hmm. Like commuting to work on a bicycle, like what, 20 miles each way? Or?
No, it wasn't quite that far. I mean, it was when I was working out there with you.
Right.
I mean, it was 25 miles each way.
Mm-hmm.
When I moved out to Colorado, my job was only maybe 10 miles from the house.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, and
that's not too bad of a
yeah,
ride.
super easy commute, and you know, it's Denver's super flat. The city itself, I mean, it's
Okay.
It's high plains. I mean, it's you think about mountains and stuff like that.
Because
But
I'm a high plains drifter. Yeah.
yeah. But the city itself, I mean, it's kind of in the basin on the high eastern plains of Colorado, so it's not a hilly city at all.
Okay. Guess I would have thought it would be. I guess most people probably would.
Yeah.
So
Kansas City is actually one of the hillier cities.
Oh, it's
in
crazy.
The country.
It's crazy hilly
Yeah,
here.
minus with the exception of like Seattle and San Francisco, we're up there.
I imagine it. Like I like running.
Mm-hmm.
I've been doing a lot more running lately. I don't run super far. I try to do like a 5K a couple times a week.
Oh, okay.
Just in the neighborhood.
Yeah,
and it
yeah.
is. I mean, it feels like you're going uphill the entire time.
Yeah.
It's all, and I try to do that. I try to run up as many hills as I possibly can. And it's like, I mean, you can do that anywhere in the city.
Yeah, I mean, it's great for getting some elevation in.
Yeah, and
yeah,
it's like, I've always known it's hilly, and when you see like Chicago, it's amazing how flat that is.
Oh, yeah,
I always
big
wondered
time.
what it would be like running. If I ran here as much as I do, if I just went there, I wonder how much faster I would be, just because it's flat.
Yeah, I mean, it could probably be substantial when you add up
The downhills.
yeah, I mean, think about running on a track versus running around on the streets here.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm sure you can get way more mileage in or quicker times when you think about running on a track versus.
Oh yeah, I can smoke on a track. I think. I think. You know, I never run a track. I just run the hills. I think, last time I ran a track was you.
Oh yeah, really?
Yeah.
That's probably the last time I've ever ran.
Really?
Yeah. I don't do
Because I
much
shamed
running.
you.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, that was like the first I didn't race. We just ran. That was like the first time I ran a mile
Yeah.
in years, and I just wanted to see what it would be like.
Yeah, same here.
Yeah,
It's the last time I've ran a mile in years.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I like running.
I mean, I'm more into cycling.
It's easier on your joints.
Yeah, that's part of it. For me, I get a little bored easy.
Oh yeah, running's boring as all heck.
The fact that on a bicycle you see a lot more go by. You have a lot more to process along the way and kind of keep your mind free of like constantly changing environment. That kind of is.
And you have to constantly have your head on a swivel in case
cars. So that's
kind
of what keeps cycling exciting to me is being able to constantly interpret new landscape rather than the humdrum of running along.
Taking from taking
you
6.5 minutes.
You pass
to go
one
a mile.
house, you pass the next house, you pass the next house. Oh, I'm tired now.
Yeah. The only reason I do 5 kilometers or 3.5 miles or whatever I do about 3.5 miles. The only reason why I do that is not because I can't go further. I just get bored.
Yeah.
I'm like, this is enough of an exercise to keep me in shape, cardio wise and leg wise. I don't need to go any further.
Yeah,
it's boring.
That's true. I mean, there's a lot to like HIIT training and stuff like that where a lot of that longer distance stuff you don't really need.
Yeah.
To keep the same fitness levels up.
Yeah, probably a point of diminishing returns, right? Probably just kind of burn off more than you'd like.
Yeah, I mean, it depends on how you're refueling, and it depends on nutrient timing and stuff like that as well. So
that's not me. I've asked a couple people to help me, like give me a workout regimen and like just kind of tell me how many calories and how much protein I need a day. And I've had a couple people tell me, "Oh yeah, I'll hook you up," and then they never give me anything. So maybe it's harder to come up with something. But yeah, I don't know what I'm doing, so I do what makes sense to me, and then I just eat. I don't eat healthy. I don't eat as bad as I used to. But I like my candy. I've got the craziest.
It's hard.
Every day, almost every day. Not all right. Few times a week, I'm getting gummy.
Oh yeah, dude.
The
So
Haribo Star Mix.
that Star Mix, that new Star Mix, that's pretty good, man. I like that Star Mix.
It is crack. It is crack. It is crack to me. Like if I'm in a gas station, I see Star Mix, it's coming home. Like,
Yeah,
and it's gone in like 5 minutes. Like oh, I didn't. And then I just started recently. This is how you know you're addicted and you have a problem. It's like because it's just a mix of all the best Haribo gummies, and I don't have a favorite, which is why I get the Star Mix.
Yeah.
But in the Star Mix, I love the sour snakes.
Oh, those are good.
And like I'm to a point now where I'll get pissed off
if there's not enough snakes
like
in
last
there.
time I had one snake. I was like, what is this crap?
That's bullshit. You should have taken it back.
I should. Yeah, that's when you know you have a problem.
You know you can buy just a pack of snakes, right?
Well, but I don't want just the snakes because then that's too much. I want the Coca-Cola. I want the cherries.
I like the Coca-Cola ones.
Yeah,
those ones
but then
good.
it's too much Coca-Cola when you buy just the Star Mix perfect, but sometimes the ratio is way off and you get disappointed.
Yeah, I understand.
So stupid.
No, I've had problems with gummies. That's one of my big downfalls. I mean, especially after like eating keto for years. Absolutely no carbs,
no sugar, right?
Yeah. And then coming back to more traditional diet and just, oh man, I started eating way too much sugar.
Yeah, it's so easy.
It's so easy. Yeah,
just hit your veins and you're like, wee.
Yeah.
Here we go. Yeah, so like I was saying, I've been trying to get someone to hook me up because I don't even know where to begin looking for that kind of stuff.
Yeah, I mean, some people need more structure than others.
Yeah.
I don't know. I go, it's week by week.
Yeah.
No, not even that. Day by day for me. It's like, some days I'm going to eat good, and then other days I'm chowing down on some Star Mix.
Yeah, got to.
You got to.
I love it. So you're just... Yeah, one of the reasons why I wanted to have you on the podcast, I mean, a lot of reasons, but just you are like this health, I don't know, I'd call you a health nut, but maybe not so much a health.
I want to
call
myself.
How about this? How about health conscious?
Yeah, we could go with conscious. I mean, I know a lot more to apply to others rather than what I'm going to do to myself.
Is that a discipline thing?
Yeah, or lack thereof.
Right.
Yeah.
So you just tell people.
Yeah, I mean,
I'm the magic.
Yeah, I mean, I know a few things enough to try to guide people in the right direction. But I also haven't been super into it, within recent years. So who knows how new research projects and, I mean, not that anything new is probably not relevant. I mean, our bodies were made millions of years ago.
Right.
Whatever new research they have, it probably doesn't actually matter.
Yeah. Just go to the basics.
Go to the basics.
Did you, I was just reading Iceman. You know the Iceman they found? Otzi?
Okay.
Otzi the Iceman they found. He's like one of the oldest like mummified remains that they found. They found him in the...
is he human?
Yeah.
Okay.
He's human.
Homo sapien or
Homo sapien.
Predate that.
No, he's Homo sapien. I can't, I wish I'd remember how long ago it was. But they found him with an arrow in his back. Like he got murdered. And they found it along, I think, France. Maybe. I think it's in France they found him. Anyways, 3,000 years ago, maybe? Maybe 3,000 years ago. Because how he was preserved in the snow and the ice. The whole story, how he was found, it's insane. It's really crazy. But I just read that they just were able to take his stomach contents out of what his diet was way back in the day.
Okay.
And it was like ibex, some kind of venison, I think, and then one other kind of meat.
Of course.
Yeah. And then
what else would you eat?
Oh, what else was it? But yeah.
I mean, I guess if he was only 3,000 years old or whatever it would be, then it doesn't necessarily means he wouldn't have eaten other things. I mean, we've only been agriculture society for 10,000 years or so, something like that.
I'm gonna look it up right now.
Yeah, don't quote me on any facts I spit.
Yeah, right. Iceman. Oh, you pull up. You just hit Iceman, and you come up with some
comic books. Yeah,
is that what that is?
Yeah.
Iceman Otzi. There he is. Iceman Otzi. I'm curious to see how old. Pretty. Let's see. September. Yeah, he's founded in
3400
1991.
BC.
30. Okay, so 3,400 years ago. Yeah.
No, that's on top of
Oh, so
5,000 years ago.
5,400 years ago.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's pretty old.
That's really old. Look at him there. That's him up there. Just. Yeah, it's so crazy.
But I mean, how are they able to determine his stomach contents? I mean, just based off of like a DNA analysis of what it was and comparing it to current animals or something.
I would imagine it was something like that. I mean, it was preserved pretty well. I don't think you need.
I mean, I don't think you're gonna find a piece of steak sitting in his stomach. I mean, look at how mummified he is.
But if he was encasing it and it was frozen in there for that long, like if it was just meat frozen in there for 6,000 years,
inside a bile and all that, I don't know.
Yeah,
maybe
look,
so.
I'm a mailman. I am not a scientist or a smart person. I couldn't even begin to tell you how they do that stuff. That's for them. I just get fascinated by it and I read up on it. But yeah, just imagine and he had shoes on.
Shoes.
He had these they were like made out of some kind of wood, not wood, but vine or something, and it looked like a boot, and he would just stuff it with grass. So like 6,000 years ago, they
one size fits all.
They had boots. He had so he was wearing like some kind of fur, like a coat type thing, and they said it had blood on it that wasn't his. They said, oh, that's what they said about the food. He had a really big meal, and he had an axe that was, I think, bronze. So I think this predates.
Sounds like. So you said he had an arrow in his back.
Yep, he had he had it. This predates the Bronze Age.
So he stole somebody's bison and ate it, and the other guy got pissed off and shot him in the back with an arrow.
I don't know. They say the arrow was shot from far away, and he was also clutching a dagger.
Oh man.
I mean, the story of it is, you can just imagine.
That's a lot of details.
Yeah, they've got a lot of details
That's
about
crazy.
it. They said the arrow probably was shot from like 80 yards away or more.
Wow.
Yeah, and then the bow, he was like 5'3", or maybe 5'6". He wasn't above 5'6". He was kind of short and like 100, like a skinny guy, like even skinny.
So was it an arrow or was it a spear?
No, it was an arrow. They also found him with arrow shafts.
Oh.
And
so that means we had bow and arrows.
He had a bow
during this time.
Oh yeah. He had a bow. He had arrows, and he had a couple of them that didn't have an arrowhead, and then a couple with arrowheads. They said they think he was in a hurry to get out of wherever he was. They have you can speculate all day.
Yeah, they had to make the story interesting somehow.
Yeah, but they have all these different facts that just. It's just a fun little story to think about. The oldest person we've ever found, and then we find him with an arrow in his back, clutching a dagger with somebody else's blood on him, and his head was cracked, so they don't know if someone killed him, shot him with the arrow, then came up to him and bashed him in the head, or if he fell and hit his head. They think that since he wasn't looters didn't get him.
So this was in France.
France, and what's right by France in the mountains?
Like the Swiss Alps area. I mean, you said ice, right?
Yeah, I mean it was in the mountains. They just call him Iceman. No, it was right on the border of France and something else, one other country, because there was. I don't know. I wish I was better at
geography.
No, remembering every detail of this story. I just heard a interesting podcast. Daniele Bolelli. You know who that guy is?
I don't not.
He's I think he's Italian history guy. Like he knows, he's kind of like Dan Carlin. If you know who Dan Carlin. Yeah. He's kind of like that, like knowledgeable in history. But I think Dan Carlin's not an actual history major or anything like that. But this guy is. He's taught in some schools, and he's got a podcast called Daniele's Bolelli, History on Fire.
Mm.
And I just happened to see this one the other day, so I listened to it. I had a lot of really cool, all this stuff. I wish I remembered all of it. So if you or anyone else is interested, check out History on Fire, the Iceman one.
All right. Oh, there's a whole podcast on this guy?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I found that podcast after I just recently read that they found the contents in his stomach. I was like, ooh. Yeah. I don't know where we are. We've this podcast has been bouncing around all over the place.
Yeah, basically we're talking about him because that's what we should be eating.
Oh, yeah.
What we found in this guy's stomach.
Yeah.
That's what we're built for.
And he was like in his 30s.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. I've always been fascinated with just history of just so long ago, how people were, how they lived, and just how they socialized.
Yeah.
How we have it now is just so weird.
It is. It's a very weird age. I mean, it's constantly changing.
Yeah.
I mean, you were born in the 80s as well?
79.
Okay,
so yeah.
close enough.
Yeah.
I mean, so you experienced computers a little bit as when you were, high school and stuff.
Yeah, that's when they first started, yeah.
Yeah, I remember, we had a typing class in middle school or something like that, and it was like the first time
in school.
Yeah, and it's like first time you used a computer in school.
Yeah,
and
that's
like,
how
wow.
we were like the guinea pigs.
Yeah, right. And now where, you got kids that are sitting on their phone watching YouTube at 3 years old or whatever.
And they're being sent home from school with their iPad or whatever they give them, some kind of tablet.
Now you get your own computer at school.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
really cool. It's cool, and then it's like scary at the same time.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, what's the trade-off here? I mean, what are we losing because of this? And I mean, you don't see people read books or anything, and
it's rare.
Yeah.
I still read. I mean, like I said, I try to have just anybody that watches the podcast. I just throw something out. I throw a little book out on the table. It's always a different book.
Yeah.
Just to throw it out there to say, hey, books still are here, and I read them.
It's still relevant.
I still love to read.
Yeah.
Like a book. I want to read a book. Like, I don't like reading on my phone or reading a tablet. Like, I want the book.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, there's something, satisfying about having that as well. I mean, actually feeling like
the
you
textile
own that
feel and the turning of the page and just the feeling the paper in your hands. Maybe it's just the nostalgia of it.
Yeah, that's probably part of it. I mean, I'm guilty of, sitting there and listening to audiobooks and stuff as well, and it's just sometimes the convenience is just so much easier.
Well, if you're on the go, I love a good audiobook.
Yeah, I mean, sitting in traffic, you're like, okay, this ain't so bad.
Yeah. Well, yeah, oh shoot, what was I saying before that? Before the book, what we're gonna lose or not lose with the thing that it's cool that the technology that we have is here and it's expanding, and you can see the places that we're going with virtual reality and augmented reality and where it could eventually be in the next 50 years.
Yeah.
But the thing is, we're so dependent on technology, and technology is so fragile. I'm just afraid. Like, I always have in the back of my mind, when something does happen, because something's going to happen. It's just inevitable. A meteor's going to hit. Someone's going to do an EMP bomb and just...
Super volcano.
Or there's the caldera, sure. Anything. I mean, there's all kinds of things. I mean, we're going to get something big. It doesn't even have to be that big. A giant solar flare. Like, I think America has 3 major electric grids. And just one, but or 3 of them, if the 3 ones got taken out and all technology's gone, I mean, we got no power for anything, what would happen? Like,
it's going to happen. It'd be devastating. I mean,
it's going to happen.
Yeah, it's going to happen. And even if it's not something by a natural cause, it's going to be self-inflicted at some point.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. For sure. And it just... So...
But yeah, we're going to end up with people that don't know how to read cursive, basically. Like...
Or swing a hammer.
Yeah. You're going to have to go get a college degree in history to learn how to read cursive writing, basically.
Yeah.
I think we'll get there.
I can see that. Cursive has been slowly
Yeah, I mean, have your kids learned cursive in school yet?
Well, he's not even in kindergarten yet.
Oh yeah, well,
so no, not
I guess
yet.
not.
Yeah, and I don't even. It's sad that I grew up with cursive, and there's some times where I'll just try to write in cursive just for old habit,
Memory's
just to
sake,
see what
yeah.
it's like.
Yeah, yeah.
And I get stuck on a couple words. I'm like, or letters. I'm like,
you're like, wait a minute, how do you do this Q again?
Yeah.
Or the Z?
Yeah, the Zizo. Yeah,
Oh, the Zizo.
that's that Happy. Was that Happy Gilmore or Billy Madison? Rizzuto. Right, he had to make right. The teacher made Billy Madison or whatever write Rizzuto on the. He couldn't do the Z's.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, so I was saying like how fragile it is, and then the way that technology's gotten now, how people are so like. So we were talking about the positive currency that we all have, but a lot of people use that currency for negativity, just like throwing that nasty. You know how people just being jerks on the internet.
Yeah, I mean, especially give this same accessibility of the internet to developing kids, where kids are dicks.
They are.
Kids can be dicks.
Yeah.
So they're gonna be bitter, and they're constantly going through a range of emotions. So they're a lot of times they express these things to other kids, and it's nasty.
Well, not only that, but it worries me that like if one of these big events were to happen, we have so much negativity out there now, and if there's no power, no electricity, and you have all these people that are just mean and bitter all the time, how would society would just collapse with a giant solar flare or something like that? Like that worries me. Like I think, say 100 years ago, because that's easy. If something big were to happen, people wouldn't have been as freaked out. They would. I feel like the communities would have gotten together and would have been able to handle something like that better.
Yeah.
Without
because
they didn't have all that
as much as if something like that were to happen.
And now we're so dependent on it, and people have gotten this. I don't know. It just seems, if it were to happen now, it would be Mad Max style. I really believe that.
I like to think there's still good people out there. That I think a lot of the negativity you see is because they're able to hide behind
anonymity.
Yes.
Anonymity. Why do I have a podcast if I can't even speak? Anonymity.
Yeah, something like that. Anonymity.
They can be anonymous. How about
yes.
that?
Yes, that.
Just work around those words.
Yeah, so I think that's part of where that they feel free to be as negative as they want to be, just because of that.
Mm-hmm.
Just because they can hide behind that, and I like to think people are.
They can hide behind the anonymity. I did it.
Yeah, there you go, anonymity.
So if something like that does happen, though, like in the back of my, like I think about that in the back of my mind. I'm a bow hunter. I've got my bow ready to go. I always think if that were to happen, I'm just going to, as they say, bug out and go find some land that's far away from anybody and just hide out there and hopefully shoot whatever I can for a while and try to hold up for a while to see what happens. That's like what I always think I would do.
Get your gear and go.
Get my gear and
camp out in the wild for a while. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And so I was just thinking now, you've got the perfect.
Oh yeah, yeah. Especially once I have solar set up and all.
Oh, you're gonna put solar on that?
Oh
thing?
Yeah. There's solar coming.
I know. We totally got away from your van.
Oh yeah. I want to be completely able to sustain off grid. So yeah.
Would you? So you want to get super remote? Is that? What is your grand plan? Like, so you have a job. So is it just? Is this like your vehicle? Like, I'm going to take a vacation and go.
Or like at the moment it is, but I see. The thing is, we go through these notions of, hey, you're supposed to. You go through high school, you go through college, you get your job, you get a house, you pay off your house for whatever many years, and.
Mm-hmm.
All this American dream basically thing. And it's mostly like consumerism bullshit.
Right.
I don't want to retire when I'm 65. I don't want to be working for the government for another 30 years or whatever it is.
Yeah.
That's I'm not saying that it's not what's going to happen.
Sure.
But
you just got bigger.
Yeah, ideally, I'd like to do these things in life that I'm into now while I have the youth and ability to do these things.
Okay.
I mean, you have a lot of times, you'll have, after you retire, you buy an RV and you get to go travel and do these things. But, yeah, guess what? You're 70 years old now.
You're not rock climbing.
And, yeah, you can't do the things you wish you could have experienced when you were younger and more fit to be able to do these things. So
wow.
my goal is to get to the point where I can travel. Even if it takes, sacrificing some of the money I make now to be able to just like do something remote and part-time and, be able to, I don't know, work in the van and have to do some remote work for a while. If that's what it takes, then, that's something I want to do.
Yeah.
I'll take that. Like, I have a decent job, I suppose you would say.
You got a good job, yeah.
Yeah, you could say I have a good job.
Yeah.
And so that's something I'm willing to give up, that security, to actually enjoy my life now while
Live
I can.
life now.
Not 30 years from now when I'm retired and can't truly enjoy it the way I want to.
Wow. Nobody thinks about it like that. So many people do think about, I just have to do this now.
We're all led that,
and then I'll have the golden
years. We have this path set out for us, and our life predetermined, and this is what you're supposed to do, and then after you do this, you do this, and then you do this, and that's like, that's what we're led to believe is the way we're supposed to live our lives, and have this predetermined path set out for us.
And you're saying I'm gonna take my own path.
Fuck that.
I'll take the path less traveled.
Yeah, there you go.
Man, it makes me feel like I feel like I'm not doing nearly enough. Like I feel
you're feeling
inadequate
like,
next
oh
to you.
Man, why do I have this 30-year mortgage still? Fuck.
Yeah. Oh. Yeah. That's
no. I'm not saying it's not for everybody either though.
Right.
A lot of people are comfortable with this. A lot of people, I guess I would consider myself somewhat of a minimalist. A lot of people truly find happiness in owning things.
Right.
And if that's what makes you happy, be happy.
Yeah. I think also a lot of people think that's what's going to make them happy. Like as a mailman, I see it every single day, especially with Amazon now.
Yeah.
I'm sure there's people listening now that get packages. Maybe not every day, but every week.
Yeah, yeah.
It's like I've seen the same people for 5+ years, where every single day they get a package.
They're just collecting junk that's not going to be used in a couple of years, or not even that long, probably. Probably
not, and I don't understand how someone can do. I guess it's like an addiction. They just want to feel.
I don't know. I think part of it's just us feeling like.
Well, like you're saying, it makes them happy.
We're led to believe this is what you want.
This will make me happy.
Advertising and that stuff subliminally works.
It does. There's a lot. I'm guilty of it a lot of the time. I say I don't need much because I really don't. Like, I'm happy with bow hunting.
Yeah.
Like, I want to have the nice hunting gear, but I already got that. That was an investment.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm guilty of, like, every now and then I'm like.
Yeah, most of the things I own are like investments.
Right.
Like, I don't own a lot of things, but the things I do own, I spent money on a quality product that I know is going to be reliable for years to come. It's like when I look back and think about all the things I've spent money on, besides house and food.
Right.
Food's like a giant one for me. like just because I try to eat healthy sometimes.
It's not cheap.
Oh, it's definitely not.
Yeah,
especially
it's so
when
cheaper to
you
go
don't
get a
have,
McDonald's burger.
Yeah,
It's crazy.
yeah, it definitely is. And I don't know, that's got to change at some point, but that's a whole nother topic.
Right.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, I don't own a lot of things. You know, I just like to buy the few quality things that I'm like into. I mean, you know, I've spent a lot of money on a bicycle and you know, climbing gear, backpacks, stuff like that. Like stuff that's like,
And it's gonna last for a long time.
it's gonna last forever.
Yeah.
Yeah, that kind of stuff, and camping gear, and you know, nice quality stuff like that. That's
When it comes to that kind of stuff, you do get what you pay for. And
oh,
you always
you
do want to
definitely
get
do.
the best of the best, or else you don't want to be stuck in the middle of the mountains with faulty rain gear
Yeah,
or
not
tent.
be able to start your
Start a
make
fire or something.
campfire
Yeah.
or something like that. Yeah, that would be terrible.
Yeah.
Makes for a miserable night.
What's the most remote place you've gone in, like, for your climbing or whatever? Because I've seen some, like I said, your Instagram's awesome. I've seen some of your cool pictures of like the goats and.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of those aren't like super remote. Like they mostly don't take several days travel or anything like that. Most of them are like, I mean, so I was on a little kick there where I was hiking some 14ers, and you know, basically there's 52 mountains or so in Colorado that are 14,000 feet and taller.
Do you do those by yourself ever?
I have, yeah.
Do you like doing it by yourself?
Well,
Is that like?
Yeah, it's a nice like head clearer thing.
Right.
Yeah.
Like a reset
You
button, right?
get a little introspective, and you know, kind of you have a lot of time alone to think about things.
Almost like meditating.
Yeah, well, yeah. You do kind of fall into some sort of meditation, and you're just trugging along, and you know, after a while the pain fades, and you're just like in your own head thinking about things after a while.
There is just some. I mean, that's one of the wonderful things for me is why I do a lot of hunting. Is I like being remote out there with nobody, just all by myself, and just the walk in and climbing a tree and just sitting up there. You just have all that time to yourself, and it is refreshing to be in the middle of nowhere by yourself. It's something I think everybody needs to do.
Oh yeah, definitely.
And not a lot of people do it, especially when you live in a city and you're surrounded by city folk, which I'm pretty city myself, but
yeah,
these city folk, you guys need to get out there and really just refresh. And I imagine going super remote like you has got to be even more refreshing. Just
it's a nice way to clear the head for sure. I mean, a lot of these trips I'll do with other people.
Right. Oh, I'm sure you got to have that too. I mean,
yeah. I mean,
I love hunting with other people too. Don't get me wrong, but yeah.
Yeah. I mean, just the security of, you know, I mean, it's
if something happens.
Yeah. I mean, we're pack animals kind of. So, even when we want to get away, we still need, you know, the security of the pack.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's nice to have. I mean, anything can happen when you're out there.
Oh yeah.
You know, most of these places, you know, your phone doesn't work, your GPS doesn't work.
Really?
It gets out there. I mean, especially when you're.
Could have a satellite phone or something.
Yeah. And I don't carry all the security I need with me. Like, say if a satellite phone or something like that. I mean, that's just, it'd be nice, but for the most part, unnecessary.
Really?
I mean,
I've heard some stories where, I mean, someone's just like a good insurance policy. Is they're not that expensive, are they?
I don't know. I haven't looked too much.
I don't think they're that. I mean, crazy.
So when we go backcountry snowboarding, I mean, we have beacons, so we're able, if something were to happen,
okay,
avalanche or whatnot, we'd be able to find people.
Yeah.
We have basically beacons that track each other.
Okay.
And so it's so we do take some safety precautions, but I mean, I don't do a whole lot of way out there by myself, so I haven't needed to justify, say, a satellite phone or something like that.
Is that something you want to do? Is like go way out there by yourself?
Not necessarily. I'm more into the technical climbing stuff, like stuff that's a lot more involved, like vertical faces and you know,
where you need other
something,
people.
yeah, something that's not just a hike into the middle of nowhere. So I'm more into like the technical aspect. So during those times, you do need other people.
Sure. Yeah, I was. Do you know who Adam Greentree is?
No, I don't know.
He's a bow hunter from Australia, but he comes out. I think last year he came out and did a 3 or 4 state hunt. Like he hunted this state, went here, and then went to here, went to here, and he was out there for, I think, a couple weeks. I mean, just miles and miles and miles and miles away from the closest trailhead, all by himself.
That's cool.
And he did like an Instagram story, and so he documented a lot of it.
Yeah.
And it was really cool. He had have you ever seen? Do you know the difference between a grizzly bear and a black bear? Would you be able to know the difference if you saw it?
Yeah, most likely, yeah.
Have you ever seen a grizzly bear in Colorado?
I actually haven't. No.
Because they're not there, right?
No.
That's what they say. This guy found some grizzly bears up there. He got like bluff charged.
Oh yeah.
He had his his camera up here and his pistol out here, and the bear was. It was a pretty hairy situation.
Oh, yeah. Wow.
It ended up not attacking him. But
Yeah.
it was
Yeah.
super close.
That's cool.
And
this happened in Colorado.
Yeah, it happened in Colorado. And there's not supposed to be any grizzly bears there.
Yeah, I mean we do have a lot of bears and
lots of black bears. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. But I mean it's.
Have you seen those out there?
I think I've seen one like far away, like some like you can tell is something big and moving kind of off in the distance, but
I guess
I've never had any close calls or anything like that. But I don't think they're as dangerous as they're made out to be.
Black bears aren't bad. No.
Yeah, I mean they're more scared of you than you are them.
Yeah.
Well, no, they're scary if you would see one, but
I don't think a black bear's that scary.
They're not going to willingly approach you if they don't have to.
Right.
It's only when
it's the grizzly bears
when they feel threatened that they're going to actually attack back.
And it's probably pretty hard to make them feel threatened in the wide open space. They're just going to run away.
Yeah.
Black bears are nothing.
I mean, like we have like bear bells and stuff like that. Just make yourself known, and if you make yourself known, they're going to avoid you, so you don't need to avoid them.
Right.
Really.
I'd be more afraid of mountain lions.
Yeah, and that's the thing is like, mountain lions are the silent killers.
They're scary.
If you see a mountain lion, it's because it's on top of your back already.
Probably.
Yeah.
Have you seen any out there?
Definitely haven't seen a mountain lion, no.
Really?
Yeah, they say if you've seen one, then it's too late.
Yeah, for the most part, probably.
Yeah. I've seen some smaller cats.
Bobcats or something?
Yeah.
Those can be they can get kind of big. Not too, I mean.
I mean, nothing that's.
I wouldn't be
too scared
worried about it. But
yeah.
Yeah. How about wolves or coyotes? You've seen? I'm sure you've seen coyotes. Everybody sees those.
Yeah. We've seen plenty of coyotes all over.
Have you seen any wolves out there?
I have seen wolves.
Really?
But that's because they were in a controlled environment.
Oh, okay.
We actually don't have any wild wolves left. They've all been
There's not any?
murdered.
Okay.
No, yeah. Well, I mean, supposedly the last wild wolf was kind of out near the Utah border a few years back and was killed by a farmer.
Sure.
So that was the last known wild one.
Okay.
But hopefully, like they've reintroduced them into Yosemite. Not
Yellowstone.
Yosemite. Yeah, Yellowstone.
Mm-hmm.
And they're doing great. They're controlling the elk, and so hopefully that will spread and they'll be able to.
Yeah, they have them. I think Utah has some. Idaho, I think, has some.
Yeah, they've kind of a little bit more north. It's kind of the only places they've been able to.
Yeah. Michigan's got them.
Survive, yeah. But we went to this wolf and wildlife sanctuary, basically, where they have some there. They probably have like 15 wolves or something like that.
Yeah.
All the different kinds, and they really give you a very cool learning experience of the history of all the wolves and how good they actually are for our ecosystem.
Yeah.
How they control the elk herds, because the elk
predators needed.
Yeah, the elk just demolish all of the aspen in the area.
Yeah.
And so they need controlled, and we've gotten rid of the only control for the elk. And so
now man is to control.
Yeah, there's that.
We do a pretty good job. I mean, that is the one government agency that is competent and knows what they're doing is like the conservation
Yeah.
department. Like they do. We've got a pretty amazing program in the country when it comes to that kind of stuff.
Yeah. So hopefully one day we'll see wild wolves back out there. But
yeah,
I think a lot of it was just wrong publicity kind of thing. Like they're made out to be these evil creatures. You know, think of Little Red Riding Hood and the Big Bad Wolf.
Well,
that's scary.
Well, back in the day, they will jack you. I mean, they.
Yeah,
I mean,
a lot of it had to do with like farmers complaining about them murdering one cow or something. You know, like
yeah,
the wolves only had to do that to survive. They don't want to eat your cow. Like they don't.
No, they want to eat it.
Well, I mean,
they want to eat that cow.
They want to eat, but you know, it's much. They're only pushed out to farmland if they're if they're pushed that way.
Yeah.
I mean, that's not their natural environment for them. That's more prairie land is kind of like coyote territory and stuff like that.
Right.
But yeah, I mean, they primarily feed on other animals. Not.
Oh, that's all they eat. Yeah.
A
lot of deer and elk, moose.
A cow or your sheep's not their first choice of something to eat.
Yeah, I don't know. I think that just if it's meat, that's their choice. I mean, I bet you they love baby cow. That's an easy target.
Yeah.
I guess mama cow is not something to mess with though.
Probably not.
Some good.
But
yeah.
You know, and I mean, when are you ever gonna find a cow by itself either?
Yeah.
They're kind of skittish.
Yeah.
They're not as dominating as they're made out to be. I mean, yeah, they have some confidence when they're in a pack and whatnot, but they're not this crazy beast that can just take down anything they want.
Right.
So they're not gonna, when do you ever see cows alone? Like they're not gonna attack when there's 50 cows standing there, unless you can find an easy isolated target.
Wolves are cool, but they're not as smart as coyotes. Coyotes are crazy. We almost wiped wolves out.
Yeah.
Mankind.
Yeah.
Not me. I have never shot a wolf. I've never even seen one.
Well, good for you.
Well, I would shoot one.
You would shoot one?
If I had a hunting permit, I'll shoot one in a minute.
Yeah.
I'd love to. I'd love to have a wolf.
Yeah. I mean, I'd love to own the wolf, but I can't.
I want a dead wolf. I'll make a rug or something out of it. I would eat it.
Yeah,
I would try it.
But of all the options of other things out there to kill, I mean, we need them too much to take another one out.
We got plenty of. I mean, if you can buy a hunting tag for it, there's plenty of them out there.
Yeah, but you can't buy a tag for it.
You can in some places.
Maybe illegally.
No, legally. You can hunt wolves in Idaho. I think they're going to be doing it in Montana soon, or you can do it in Montana. Maybe it's Wyoming that they've been talking about it. Canada, there's places in Canada, like legally, you can go and buy a wolf hunting tag in a few states.
Yeah, well, that's probably due to a bad publicity thing.
What, hunting? No, it's
like making wolves out to be bad.
It's not. They're not making it out to be bad, but they're saying, "All right, we've got too many of them." Like the elk.
But I don't think we have too many of them. Is the thing. Like when you compare their
biologists say
when you
we
compare their populations to their populations even as little as 10 to 20 years ago. I mean, we've almost wiped them out.
That was a long time ago, but now they've gotten their herds have gotten, or not their packs have gotten to it. Biologists, this is their job, is just like you say that they're good for thinning out the elk herd. Well, the predator control needs to be thinned out as well sometimes if it gets too much. Like that's why we hunt bears and mountain lions. Like everything needs to have like some control on it. And if we have too many wolves, and there's
it's
like they have a number.
Nature is mostly self-regulated.
You think so?
Yeah,
but
if you were to let them thrive, they would self-regulate.
But we can't. We've gotten to a point now where we can't let them self-regulate.
Yeah, we have, but I don't think we're at a point where there's too many of them.
I don't know. they wouldn't let you hunt them. If they were in danger, if there weren't enough, they wouldn't let you hunt them. They don't let anybody hunt them. They have a certain number. They say this amount can be harvested.
Yeah.
Because this isn't this is the population we need.
I bet they get a pretty good price for that tag too.
I don't think it's hardly anything.
Really?
If you live if you can hunt it in Idaho, if you live in Idaho and if that's I believe that is a hunting state for wolves. I bet you it's very, very cheap. Very cheap. It's probably like $20 or something.
I'd be surprised.
You think it's like hundreds?
Oh, I don't know, man. I don't know.
It won't be that much. Yeah. Anyways, I was saying the real smart ones are coyotes. Oh, so this is where I was going. So we almost wiped out wolves.
Yeah.
Mankind.
Yeah.
Because they're easier to kill. They're not as smart, I guess, as like the coyote. They say we cannot get rid of all coyotes. There is no way. They're just the way they like. Once you start killing them, then they start having more puppies. Like if the mom
like their defense mechanism is to
produce
breed more. Yeah,
it's really crazy, and they're super smart. I'm gonna look up. Let's see, Idaho wolf hunt. Idaho wolf hunting. Let's see. Images for Idaho hunting guides. Wolf harvest quota. Idaho Fish and Game. Harvest quotas were initially used for managing wolf harvest in Idaho to ensure harvest was well distributed across the state. After 7 years of harvest, it was apparent that harvest quotas were not needed as none had been reached. Consequently, harvest quotas requirement so you can get as many as you want.
What?
Hunting seasons and rules. Seasons and rules. Oh, this is for everything. Grizzly bear. This is great podcast material. Scrolling. Big game. Grizzly bear. Big game. Links and management understanding livestock conflicts, wolves in the wild, hunting and trapping. Visit the big game seasons for rules for current wolf trap. So you can even trap them. Wolf harvest quotes. Elk, pronghorn, gray wolf season. General rules. Weapon restrictions, big game, electric call. So you can use electric calls, taxidermy. You can use dogs.
Wow. Wild West out in there in Idaho, huh?
Oh, yeah, I'm looking for how much it would be. Wolf hunting rules. Bait. Hunting big game over bait is illegal except for block beans. Wolves may be taken incidentally to bear hunting. It is unlawful to hunt wolves within 200 yards of the perimeter of any designated dump or sanitary landfill. Seasons. Private land. August 1st to May 31st. July 1st to June 30th. Yeah. So you can hunt wolves in Idaho. And you can trap them. And I bet I was looking for the price on here to see how much it is. I bet you it's not that much. I bet it.
Yeah.
I bet it's probably like $25. If that, it might be 10 or 15. So yeah, there's enough of them to shoot.
I guess according to
Idaho Fish and Game.
Yeah.
I mean, they're out there counting how many there are. I mean, they've got a system for all this. It's working.
Yeah. Well.
Yeah, wolves are scarce in a lot of places. They're just other places they need to be thinned out. So that's that. Wolf Talk, baby.
Yeah.
Wolf Talk on Neander Talk. I'm gonna change the name. Oh, we were at another place with your. I'm still really fascinated about your vehicle.
Oh yeah.
So you do want to eventually live out of it?
Yeah. I'd like to get there. I mean,
you said you were living out of it last winter.
I was.
It was warm or like.
Warm enough.
Yeah.
I mean, so
because you can't keep it running.
no, of course not. Yeah, that's terrible.
Right.
Carbon monoxide and all that, and eventually I'll have additional heat sources for it. But I mean, I survived the winter fairly comfortably.
With blankets.
No, so I actually have the whole van insulated with sheep's wool.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I splurged a little on the insulation, just knowing.
How much did that cost? I mean, did that cost a lot?
It was like $500 for, like 300 square feet of bats for it.
Did that do what you needed?
It mostly did. Like the sheep's wool is amazing stuff as
It
far
is.
as like.
And it can get wet too, and it's.
Yeah, it holds its properties just fine. It's anti-mildew, anti-mold. It filters the air.
Wow.
It has a very decent R value as far as it has like a R13 per 3.5 inches or so. So it has a very good R value and all these other great natural properties to it. So I went that direction over a lot of other things that you would, like a spray foam where you might be a little worried about off-gassing over time and stuff like that. And, like knowing...
Man, you did all kinds of research.
What's in your air. Like, yeah, I mean, if you're contained in such a small space with, it will have adequate ventilation, but you still have to be concerned with what you're sitting there inhaling and breathing. And I splurge a little on the insulation just to make
what
sure.
You pay for. Make sure. The last thing you want to do is be too cold.
Yeah, and so I still it keeps it mostly okay. We had a very mild winter this year. I don't know about you guys here, but
we had a long winter.
Did you?
Really long. It got cold and long towards the end. It was like enough of this already. And I like winter. I like the cold, but this year was a little bit longer.
Oh yeah,
and colder.
Yeah. So there was some cold nights. Basically. I would cook before bed.
Yeah, I was going to ask you about that. How do you cook? Because I didn't see a stove in there.
Yeah, I have a stove in the cabinet. It's a propane camping stove.
Little Coleman type thing?
Yeah, basically one of those little propane stoves.
With a couple burners on it? Or?
Yep. It's a Camp Chef stove. Pretty decent output on it, actually. And, so, I'll cook up dinner and make a nice hot coffee or something before bed. And, of course, this is all being ventilated.
Yeah.
Being in there with propane going and stuff like that. But
you cook it inside there?
Oh yeah. But it's being ventilated to atmosphere, so. Be it the door open or windows open or whatever it may be. Well, yeah. So I typically it would get a little warm in there before bed, and you have a nice warm beverage.
Right.
A nice warm beverage for before bed helps too, and I've got like a 0-degree sleeping bag on those really cold nights.
And you're elevated, and you're on a nice mattress, and that helps.
Yeah. I just got like a cheap IKEA foam mattress, and so it's got that foam is actually pretty well keeps temperatures regulated pretty good. And then on those cold nights, a nice mountaineering sleeping bag, that's good for down to 0 degrees.
Right.
But, I've woken up.
Not wanting to get out.
Yeah, that's the hardest part is getting out of
right.
bed. Like I sleep comfortably, there'd be nights like you get used to wearing like a beanie on your head when you sleep because you lose a lot of heat from your head.
Right.
So that's one thing that was like a little uncomfortable. It's just dealing with that. Well, other than that, like I slept great.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was completely comfortable.
I'm not surprised.
You would wake up with ice on the windows sometimes, and you'd still be okay. It's just getting out of bed sucks.
That's the worst.
Yeah, that was bad. You just don't want to get out of bed. I would have a down jacket next to me in my bed.
So when you wake
up,
when
I
you just
woke
throw it
up
on
those cold nights, I'd like stay in my bag and like put the down jacket on while still in the sleeping bag.
And would you just park it like in a Walmart parking lot? Or?
So for the most part, I stayed at if I wasn't like out somewhere adventuring,
right,
in the mountains or whatever it may be, kind of had place at the climbing gym that I went to there.
Okay.
Because I have membership for the climbing gym. That way, I have access to showers and bathrooms and all that stuff, as well as being able to go
what a life,
to the gym
man.
there.
What
yeah.
so
it was
find out all these different hacks and just figure it out, man. You're figuring it out, dude. It's awesome.
Yeah, and then I wasn't alone either though. Like I had neighbors.
Oh really?
Oh yeah,
it's like a little community, like
so. I mean, I don't know if you've ever heard of it's van life. Basically, it's kind of like the movement.
Okay, I've recently heard of, I think it's called schoolies, where they do the thing with the school buses.
Yeah, but it's the same thing.
Right.
Yeah, so it basically is it's van life, and it's kind of a big movement. It's kind of catching on. Like
a lot of the
minimalist
type stuff. Yeah,
like minimalist and tiny home people.
Right.
That kind of thing. But like, here's a picture. This is the parking lot at the gym I was staying. You could see
look at all those.
Yeah,
1,
you see
2,
like
3,
4 or 5 other sprinters in the
1,
parking
2,
lot.
3, 4, 5 plus yours. That's just what you can see.
Yeah, these are my neighbors. Like,
you guys all hang out and just
like we there would be like nights of the week we all just like get together and grill up and
cool.
have like little potluck of like basically all of our shit.
Right. What's like the age, like kind of typical age of these people like this doing that?
Mostly younger people.
I was gonna say, I think that's this minimalist kind of mentality seems to be with these younger generations.
Yeah, definitely. And it was cool. I mean, you meet a lot of people, and everybody's so welcoming and inviting to each other.
Is it a lot of like kind of like hippie lifestyle type? Like
yeah, it really is. And that it kind of ties in the whole van life and like rock climbing and snowboarding and like that whole outdoor lifestyle. It all just kind of ties in together. It just makes so much sense to like be able to be free and travel.
I mean, you guys are all doing this small thing. It is a pretty small community.
Yeah.
Where you guys are like, hey, I enjoy this and I enjoy this too. So it does make sense that you guys would just kind of gravitate.
And all those separate communities are all like very good about being open to outsiders as well. So it's just like it's just easy to meet people that kind of going through the same thing. Like when you see another van pull up in the parking lot, like everybody kind of like gives a tour of each other's little home.
And
I mean, because most of these people, like the people like actually doing this, like they're all people. They're not necessarily well off or anything like that. They're people that built these things out themselves. So you get kind of prideful of your own work.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
And you can't wait to show it off to other people in the community. So
that's how I was with just the studio. I was like, I want people to check this out because you built it and it's like this is.
You're proud that you made this
something
thing.
cool.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, the studio looks great, by the way.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
Yeah. And so, so when you meet other people in the whole van thing, you got your little van tours that you do to each other and kind of show each other around. And then you just like meet and greet. And then next thing you know, you're in the parking lot cooking each other food and stuff.
So did you get a lot of different ideas from all these other people on what you wanted to do to yours? Or how did you get your idea?
Like I was actually, I don't know, I was living in the van myself for about 6 months with some basic things built out. And when I actually came back here and, in a more stable house for the time being, I went in there and chopped some things up and redid things to be more functional for what I want to do. Because everybody's build outs are kind of
specific.
Slightly different. Yeah, and specific that kind of tailors their needs and stuff. Like one of my big things was having a big garage because I have gear and bicycles, snowboards. So I wanted a permanent storage area and not drive around with a rack on the back with expensive bikes sitting outside.
Okay.
That kind of thing. A nice, secure location.
Right.
For these bigger items where like
and again it's inconspicuous, so someone's not gonna go.
So that's why I have like a fixed platform bed the way I do, whereas other people that might not have bikes or needs for those big items, they might have a full on, instead of a bed that's permanent and fixed, they might have more of like an RV type thing where a kitchen table folds down and then you put your bed on top of that or something like that.
Okay.
And so everybody's like build outs are kind of like specific to
Yeah.
what they're into and what they're doing. So it's cool to just like check each other's stuff out.
I bet. I'd like to do that.
And,
Like I loved seeing yours. I'd like to see other people's too.
Yeah, it's cool. It's cool.
Yeah, I'll be excited to see yours
And
when it's
the whole
completely
process
done.
has just been fun.
It looks fun. I mean, it just
like I went from zero woodworking to like being able to make some pretty fancy joints and
yeah,
like weird stuff that kind of like started nerding out on.
yeah.
Yeah.
It's easy to nerd out on that kind of stuff.
I typically get that way. I'll like find little weird interest and just like research
balls deep
and like
into it.
geek out on like things that seem pretty silly to others.
Yeah. So I know I'm just bouncing all over the place. That's my fault. You were saying you started documenting it, and you have a YouTube channel, but you haven't started it yet?
Yeah, I haven't actually uploaded any content or anything like that. Like, I'm not...
do you want to be like a YouTuber? Like kind of
not necessarily, but like I've watched a lot of other videos, like learning how to do things.
Right.
So I've watched other people's build videos and like to get ideas. So like putting my own content on there to share and let it inspire other people.
Right.
Like that's kind of why I started doing it. But at the same time, like I'm not very, I'm kind of,
you're an introvert.
I kind of keep some,
Yeah.
I didn't want to like label like, I don't know, everybody considers themselves a introvert now, but.
You think so? I mean, I know some people that are like, super extrovert. The last thing they are is introvert.
And I mean, I'm
reserved.
Yeah, for a bit. You know, I mean, I'm on the show. I'm a little anxiety right now.
Oh yeah, need some CBD.
Little nervous.
Yeah. No need to be nervous.
No. This is very This is
just
very
you and
chill.
I, man.
Yeah, this is very chill. No, but I'm not typically one to put myself out there like that. So, but I would like to.
I think that would
do
be
it
awesome,
just to
man.
help and share other people. Like, because I've taken ideas from, several different things and like, oh, okay, I'm going to use this and I'm going to use this. And so I'd like to put my ideas out there as well, just so people can use those references for their own building,
I love, like I was saying, I love your Instagram, and I always wish you would put more stuff on there because I know you're always doing stuff.
Yeah.
And you'll throw like one picture of like a really beautiful place where you're at from a hike.
Yeah, yeah.
And I'm always like, I wish you would document this one. I wish you'd put like a story up or just more pictures because you got so many cool things. Like you're saying, you're young, you're fit, and you're out there and you're doing it.
Yeah. Like, I mean, I should do more like that and, maybe vlog some of these things or
yeah, that's what I'm saying. I
whatnot,
think,
but I feel like almost like everybody that actually lives in Colorado, a lot of these other people are doing the same thing because, I mean, it's such a paradise for outdoor enthusiasts that
right.
So I never feel like my content is good enough or better than somebody else's because, I mean, everybody that's there is
doing that
they're
stuff.
They're enjoying the same awesome view that I'm enjoying.
Right.
And so I feel like it's not necessarily just because it's been done, but
I guess
I just have a lack of confidence in my content versus the next person.
Well, if you've never done it, sure. But you would get, I mean, like no homo. But you're a good-looking guy. You're very smart. I imagine
fake it till you make it.
That's all people. Fake it till you make it. I mean, I haven't made it yet, but here I am faking it. I'm gonna keep faking it.
That's right.
But I think every now and then there's just people where I wish they would do something like that. I think you're one of those guys that would be awesome to see. You're documenting of all the build because you still have more building to do.
Yeah.
And it's just awesome. Like I want to see that, and then I want to see you go on one of these awesome adventures and do the climbing, doing like even just like stuff where you're in the parking lot with these other people doing a potluck. Like that would be, there's so much fun stuff that so many people are just sitting watch, like we were talking about, watching YouTube. They're not actually doing they're not doing that stuff.
Yeah.
And I think it'd be cool to see. I don't know, but again, that's my personality.
I'm
the one with the podcast
understand.
Throwing it out there. Here I am.
No, I understand what you mean. Like, yeah,
it'd be
right.
It would be awesome. I
don't like post very much stuff, and it's part of it's like, like sometimes you just don't feel like it's cool enough or something worthy to post or
right.
But there's so much trash on the internet anyhow, so it doesn't hurt to
Yeah.
just go for it.
I mean, that's the thing. I watch a lot. Like, I've been a cord cutter, quote unquote cord cutter. I still have the internet, so it's not really. But I don't watch TV. All I really do is watch YouTube for the most part. And it is, you see these things. Like, I watched this horrible thing the other day that had like 3 million views, and it was awful. For a few minutes, I was like, no.
Yeah.
And so there's a lot of that out there.
There is.
And I imagine, I don't know, like I said, you're a smart dude, you're whatever. I think you would figure it out, and it'd be, but again, that's me projecting my feelings and my personality. And I understand, because I am very introvert, like very introvert.
Yeah.
I go out and I'm like, I want my hat on or my sunglasses on. And
yeah, right.
I try to be out there, but then it just gets awkward for me. So.
Yeah.
So I understand that aspect of it, but I don't know. I think, because I'm selfish, I want to see you do it, because I want to see you doing these really cool things.
Yeah. I mean, I'd like to do more, and I mean, it's not all highs either, though. Like,
No, that's what I love. I think that's what, not just I love. I think that's the whole great thing, is seeing the lows, seeing the realness of it. Anybody, I can watch.
Because I mean, you go
Modern Family.
You go take a look at somebody's Instagram, and it's all highs. Like, I mean,
all inspirational
depending
quotes
on the person, but it's mostly going to be all the cool moments of their life.
Yeah,
like, basically. So,
well, if you did like a YouTube type thing, and that's the same thing, you see it's a lot of edited stuff of all of it just being the highs of a lot of these things.
Yeah.
I like the lows. I like the struggle,
seeing the dirty part of.
I do, because I like seeing people climbing out of that stuff. I like watching the struggle and seeing people come out the other side and working hard for something, because you see some of these YouTube channels that eventually get big, and you watch some of their old stuff, and it's like they started out as absolutely nothing when they got here.
Yeah.
And it's cool to see that process. And then there's that process, like I was thinking about my podcast. Like I said, it's not that big, but it is growing. Like, every day I click on my analytics, and every day, even every few hours, I'll get an extra view. I was like, cool, this is really cool. It's fun to see. And I was like thinking, like, I'm doing 2 jobs right now. I've got 2 kids that I have, 40% of the time or something like that. Like, I have no time for anything.
Yeah, man.
And when I'm doing
grinding,
I'm grinding. And then when I do this, my passion project, it's like 2 hours after I should have gone to bed.
Yeah.
And I'm up doing. It's like, if this ever got not big, but to a decent size level where it was really cool for me, like, this is cool for me anyways. I'm just doing this because it's fun and I like it. But I'm not gonna lie, if this thing got like kind of big, like where I consistently had a couple thousand, even, that'd like blow me away.
Yeah.
I'd be like, wow, that's really cool.
Yeah.
And it's like, and people don't see. Here I am coming home from my second job. It's super late. I'm tired. I'm coming home, and then I'm gonna go up here. And I'm just going to watch some YouTube videos to learn how to edit this. And then I'm going to do it. And like 3 hours later, like, people don't ever see that kind of stuff.
All the amount of work that actually goes into it.
Yeah. And like that stuff would be cool. I'd love to
just get a glimpse of a final picture.
Yeah. And like that kind of stuff would be cool to see with, like, I don't know, man. I want to see you wake up with ice on the windows, struggling to get out of bed. Here I am, guys. It's 7 o'clock. There's ice on the windows. I don't want to get out of bed, but we got this 14er I'm going to go climb, so let's do it. Like, that stuff was awesome to me. I don't know. Do it.
Yeah, man. I'll get more into it.
Or don't.
I'll get more into it. I've been, looking at some extra camera gear and stuff like that, just because, if I'm going to put out content, I'm kind of a quality over quantity thing.
Yeah.
And so, I've been looking at some cameras and gimbals and, like, some stuff like that to be able to, like, shoot some cool projects. And buddy of mine actually has a nice Mavic drone and all that. So
those are awesome.
Yeah, we shot some pretty cool stuff snowboarding last winter. So
cool.
that was cool.
That'd be really cool. Yeah, snowboarding, rock climbing, hiking. Like, would you ever do the squirrel suit?
I mean, I've been skydiving before.
Yeah. I'd love to do that.
But I don't know that I would do the squirrel suit thing.
Really?
I mean, like, when I get into things, I like get pretty passionate about it.
And that's too dangerous.
And so I
you
go,
think like you
I
would
go pretty hard into like the things that I get into.
Right.
Like,
and you don't want to go hard
like
in the
I've
squirrel
already
suit.
like as far as like rock climbing and snowboarding and stuff like that, I've already been in enough sketchy situations that like if I were to those same sketchy situations like transferred over to say what they do in a squirrel suit,
Yeah.
like
There's no coming
that's
back.
cutting it too close.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's some crazy videos out there.
Yeah, I mean the stuff's amazing. It's cool stuff. And
Why is me? I saw a video a few months ago of this guy smashing into a bridge, basically.
oh yeah,
Just
yeah.
bounced off the.
That's crazy.
Done.
Yeah,
You done, son.
yeah. Just like I mean, yeah. If you're gonna go out, like that's instant. So I mean,
It's not the worst way
it's
to go out.
definitely not
I
the
guess.
worst way.
If you don't, yeah, it's not the worst way, but it maybe it is. You must be so terrified seeing that thing, seeing the ground coming at you.
Yeah, I mean you do have a little bit of time to think about it. But
Yeah.
less time to think about it than say if you're stroking out.
Right.
So
Yeah.
could be worse.
Yeah. We all gotta go somehow.
Yeah.
Chances are it's.
Yeah, but no,
Yeah.
I'm gonna stay away from the squirrel suits for now.
How about like that structure climbing? Does that interest you at all?
Nah. I
No?
like there's so much great natural rock out there. Like,
Okay.
why am I gonna go climb a building? It's not as scenic and beautiful as like being out there.
Okay. To
like,
me,
like part of like what makes climbing great is just the overall experience of being out in the woods, like climbing this beautiful rock formation that's been there for millions of years, and like just like understanding like how it got there and why it's the way it is. When you're you're going through these canyons like that have been formed
yeah.
over the past millions of years, and you're like, well, or I could go climb this man-made building that was put there
Yeah.
last year. Like,
I see your point.
yeah. So it's not for me. It's
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, the reason I'm into it, part of the reason why I'm into it is just being outside and in beautiful remote places.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's really cool for me to like get that perspective because I think of that stuff, and my number one thing is hunting.
Yeah.
Like I want to go out there and see these animals, and hopefully, I'd love to get an elk. I'd love to shoot an elk with my bow. I mean, that's one of my dreams.
But it's not even the end goal always. Part of it, a big aspect of the whole thing. It's just the experience.
Right.
It's just being out there.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, sure. If you got something, then that's great.
Oh yeah, you don't. I never expect to get anything hunting. That's just the bonus. It's being out there, and it's cool seeing your aspect where you could care less if you see an elk. I mean, I'm sure it's really cool and it's cool to see.
Oh yeah,
but you're not
cool.
out there.
Yeah, but I mean, we see elk like every day.
Right.
So
Colorado does have I think the
less,
largest elk herd in the country.
Yeah, it's less spectacular, but
right.
Yeah, when you see like.
But again, it's just cool to see your perspective. Of
yeah, when you're driving down
there.
the road and you see like bighorns and
right
elk on the side of the road on a daily basis, like.
Yeah.
Not quite as exciting, but I mean, I could see it. I mean, I understand your perspective.
Yeah. Yeah, it's just it's very. I love the outdoors and the different, just niche elements out there of like and then you got the people that are like whitewater rafters and.
Yeah. That stuff looks pretty fun. I mean.
Yeah.
Haven't done any of that, but.
Yeah, I forget as, like I consider myself a conservationist.
Yeah.
And I look at everything from like a hunting perspective. It's just cool to see your perspective of the outdoors. It's just really, I don't ever think about it. It's nice to be on that side and be like, oh yeah, there's people out there that they're not out there looking for the animals. They're out there enjoying the mountain, or they're just out there to enjoy the woods. It's really, it's just nice for me to take a look at that perspective.
Yeah,
it's refreshing.
Yeah. I see what you mean.
Yeah.
But I don't know. It's I'm not opposed to the hunting or anything like that. I mean,
I think it'd be something
especially as
you might enjoy.
Oh yeah, I mean, I've had to go help a friend drag out an elk before.
Oh really?
Yeah. So I mean, I just haven't taken the time and investment like that. That's one of the big things too.
Well, that's a huge investment, not just monetarily, but also knowledge. That's another thing you would probably go deep in is trying to figure out.
Yeah, and then I would probably like get way into it, and next thing you know, I'm on a month-long trip in the middle of the backcountry with my bow. So
that'd be awesome, man. That was that Adam Green tree when I was telling you about earlier.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, I can only like manage so many expensive hobbies at one time.
I hear you. No, I hear you. I wouldn't. Yeah. Did what was that like? Dragging the.
Oh yeah, it was great. It was just like,
you guys quartered it out and.
Yeah.
Like,
well, no, he didn't. No, we didn't quarter the whole thing out. Like it was only like a mile hike or something like that. So.
Oh, okay.
And it was in some thick stuff, but we had 4 of us.
Okay.
So he just cleaned it there and then got it back out to the truck and.
Well, how many pieces though?
I guess he probably
4 of the head.
Then. Yeah.
4, the quarters, the head, and then probably the back straps.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's not too bad. Mile back's nothing.
Yeah, it was.
But I mean, I'm sure it is.
A matter of luck,
elevation and stuff.
Yeah.
But
yeah, and this was like, it was downhill on the way in, so it was all uphill on the way out.
Oh, great.
Yeah,
of course it was.
Kind of like in this valley where, it was near the Colorado-Wyoming border. And
oh, cool.
Yeah,
man. I want to be out there so bad.
Yeah, man. Let's go.
Let's do it.
Yeah.
Did he give you some of the elk meat?
Yeah, I got some of that.
You like it?
Yeah, it's good. Yeah, like he always so this buddy of mine he now lives in Wyoming. He does a lot of trips to Alaska and stuff like that.
Oh, cool.
He's always bringing back caribou.
Caribou's awesome.
Yeah, I've never had caribou. He brought some back and it was delicious.
Yeah. Caribou's awesome. Moose is amazing.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, moose.
I haven't had any moose.
Moose is awesome.
I've seen some mooses.
Yeah, there's a few in Colorado, right?
It's pretty amazing to see those guys in person. It's almost scarier than probably seeing a bear.
Yeah, I mean, especially a big bull.
Yeah, man. I think of bears as kind of cuddly.
Well,
maybe not so much when it's like standing up and approaching you, but when you just see like a bear walking along.
Yeah,
they seem peaceful and serene, but like a big bull, like them things are intimidating.
They're huge. Like you don't know how big they are until you're actually next to them.
Yeah.
They're ridiculous.
They're crazy.
They're like a horse. It's a forest horse, like giant.
It's like 700 pounds standing up on
a
pair of stilts.
Yeah, that's
like,
it.
It's so weird.
It is weird.
It's the weirdest looking creature, but it's scary.
Yeah. They can be really scary.
Yeah,
a moose will mess you up, man.
Yeah. I mean, I've seen YouTube videos of like people in Yellowstone like approaching
getting a little
mooses
too close
and getting bucked. And it's like that's what you get, dumbass.
Yeah, they'll charge you too during the right season. They'll run after you with their horns. They're mean.
Yeah, we were up in like Rocky Mountain National Park and going along the road, and there's this little alpine lake off the side of the road, and there's like a buck and I don't know, maybe two other females with them, just like waiting and like one of them was jumping around and splashing in the water, and it was so fun to just watch them play.
Yeah,
like it looked like it was having a good time, just like jumping around in the water and shit.
Yeah, that's what's awesome about being out there too in the wild, is when you get to see a lot of this stuff. It's like you're witnessing what nature is really like, and a lot of people don't get to actually see.
Yeah, a lot of people don't, and I mean, we used to go like camping out at the lake as a kid.
Car camping.
Yeah, pretty much.
Right.
Yeah, and it's not the same.
Not at all. It's not even camping.
It's really not.
Yeah.
And so whenever my daughter comes out, like I took her to some pretty remote places to camp out at night. So there's this area down south in Colorado. It's National Sand Dunes. I don't know, Park and
I've
Preserve
heard of that.
Or whatever. But yeah, so you can sleep out on the sand dunes. You have to you have to hike in a certain amount of miles or something like that.
Yeah.
Just because not sure whatever the reasoning is, but so yeah, you're surrounded by these big dunes, and it looks like you're in the middle of the desert.
Yeah.
And so it's kind of like her first time she's ever been camping.
Cool. So real
This was
camping.
a few years ago.
Very cool.
Yeah, and we're out there. You haven't seen like you don't see anybody.
That's the best.
Yeah, I mean, like, there's just a few miles away, there's a visitor center and there's people around, and there's actually some like RV parking in the general area.
Mm-hmm.
So you kind of have an idea that there's some people around.
Miles away is a long way when you're in the middle of nothing like that.
Yeah, but you have to hike in for a few miles, and so she's never experienced anything like that, and it was a bit scary at first. I had to like actually calm her down and like let her know that, hey, this is okay, everything's gonna be fine. And she didn't know it at the time, but like when we were going to bed, there was coyotes just going crazy, howling.
She didn't get to hear that?
No, she didn't.
Oh, that's the best.
But I showed her the tracks that, like, because there's a little river on the hike back in, and you could see all the coyote tracks from the wet sand.
Yeah.
And, so I showed her that on the way back, and it was like, so it was like really cool, but kind of scary, especially being the first time camping. But like, people need to get out there and experience that kind of stuff.
People need to get scared.
yeah, they do.
They do.
It's good to get scared. I mean, it gives you a healthy respect for everything that's out there.
Yeah.
It's like,
yeah, there's a real world out there, people.
There is.
Go get scared by it.
Don't
let the world scare you. Don't let
Don't let just your boss scare you.
Ooh, good one.
Yeah.
Don't let societal pressures scare you. I mean, those are scary enough, and that's anxiety ridden enough. Get out there and get some real scared.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love being out there and just seeing. And that's the other thing is the stars. People don't get to see the stars until you get away from the city and you're in the middle of the Milky Way.
Yep. So this like area that we're in the sand dunes. You don't have any major cities anywhere nearby. I mean, you've got some small towns. You've got some small towns and whatnot along the way, but you're really out there. So this is like in the San Luis Valley. It's like down south, almost. You're maybe like an hour and a half from the New Mexico border.
Okay.
And so this area, no light pollution at all. Just amazing stars at night.
I love that.
Like when you like start to be able to like distinguish color in the sky.
Yeah.
And stuff like that. Oh, it's so amazing.
Yeah.
And actually that area that's kind of down there, it's like known for having UFO sightings and stuff
really?
like that. Yeah, there's a lot of like weird little freaky cultish stuff that goes on down there.
Oh yeah.
And there's like this UFO watchtower.
A watch? Was that like a fire tower or something?
No, it's just some weird UFO watch. It's not even a fire tower because it's out in the valley. And but yeah, they've claimed to see lots of sightings from there, and it's a weird little place.
All right.
You go there and you have like there's all these trinkets laid down in the ground, and like I don't know, like sacrifices to the UFO people or whatever. I don't know what it's all about, but it's weird stuff. And then you've got like some weird like Buddhist monasteries and like really like new age religious like little things.
Pockets.
Yeah. It's kind of a weird
communes
area
or something, or
I don't know if
maybe not a commune,
not
but
necessarily communes, but places of worship and and so it's a whole weird vibe in the whole area. So but it's cool to get out there. And
here's the question.
Yep.
Have you ever seen what you think is a UFO?
No.
Really?
No.
No?
No.
Okay.
I mean, I don't deny the possible existence.
Yeah.
But I'm not.
You're not that guy.
Yeah.
You're not. Aliens are among us and are flying around.
I'm not the man. What's that dude from Ancient Aliens?
Oh,
with the hair. He's got a weird,
George.
Yeah, he's got a super Greek name.
Sudokus or no?
Something Monopolis. Something.
No, it's I know who. Sukalo.
Yeah.
George No, it doesn't matter. Ancient Aliens guy. Yeah, the guy with the crazy hair.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm not that guy.
Okay. Well, I don't know. I mean, you're out there. You're out there a lot.
Yeah, I mean, I haven't personally experienced anything like super natural, I
compelling
guess you would say
or
that. Yeah. I mean, yeah, I've seen lots of shooting stars, and I'm like, yeah, well, that's a shooting star. So.
Right. but you never seen anything go up and then directly to the left and then directly to the right and up and down, like all these crazy.
Even if I did see that, I would try to give myself a logical explanation for it. I mean, I'm a bit more of scientific based, like.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not an alien guy either. I just didn't know if, you mentioned it. You mentioned people see stuff out there, so I didn't know if maybe.
Yeah. It's known for, stuff going on down there, but I haven't witnessed anything I couldn't explain.
Right.
So.
Not yet. Maybe I will. Maybe I'll change my mind. Seeing is believing. I mean, yeah. I've never really. A few months ago I saw something weird, but I'm not gonna say it was alien. It was just I saw something weird in the sky.
Yeah.
But it could have been probably a shooting star. I don't. It was
a number of explainable things.
It wasn't. Yeah, I didn't think it was anything extraterrestrial.
Yeah.
I don't think we got aliens flying around here.
I mean,
I don't know.
Yeah.
It's not. I don't know.
It's not the most plausible thing.
Nah, it's really not.
Yeah.
I can think of so many other crazier things that are more likely to have happened. I don't know.
Yeah. We don't have to go into it, but
No, it would be her. All day.
Yeah. The whole idea of religions and whatnot.
Oh, sure. Yeah, if you want to go. Yeah, I mean, that's another road to go down too, as far as. And then you look at the pyramids and
Yeah.
Yeah, sure.
There's
fun stuff to talk about.
Yeah, there's okay.
Papadopoulos? George Papadopoulos, maybe?
That sounds right, man.
I don't know.
That sounds right. Yeah, that sounds right. We'll go with that.
Georgia.
Papa Doc.
Yeah, whatever.
Papa Doc.
So are we going to go rock climbing today?
We can do that.
Really?
Yeah,
Is
sure.
that what you were going to proposition?
Yeah, absolutely. I'll let you, get a glimpse of the life.
I'll give it a shot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We could have shot a day in the life video.
Still can.
Just fucking wake up in the van, cook some breakfast on the stove.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. Hot, I got my little French press in the van and.
Oh, yeah, you do the French.
Yeah.
I guess you have to,
of
yeah.
course,
That's all I do. I only do a French press now.
There's no other way to drink it.
Yep.
You got it.
I've got you saw my method. I got my method down.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, not to criticize, you could have, typically on the French press, a little more coarse on the grinds.
Yeah, I know.
Not so
fine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was good though. It was good.
You're right. I did go.
I'm kind of in. I know you are, but you're into coffee and whatnot too. So.
Yeah, well, that's why I got this. You said you wanted coffee, so I went out and got the good stuff.
Yeah, appreciate it. It was delicious.
It was pretty good. So I guess on that note, gosh, we could keep going, but I want to do some rock climbing. I want to check out your vehicle some more.
Yeah, we'll check it out.
I took pictures. I'll probably take another picture too. I'm going to throw that up on the old Instagram.
Sure.
Neandertalk Pod on Instagram, you guys. Curtis, not Kurt.
Curtis, not Kurt. Yeah.
That's the handle, right?
Yeah, that's my Instagram.
Instagram.
Yeah, I don't really use anything else right now.
It's the best. Instagram really is the best.
I mean,
as far as
a lot of times I don't
go,
feel like explaining myself, or and Facebook's all bullshit to me.
Facebook's awful. Yeah. I don't mess with Facebook at all.
I had somebody that asked me for something the other day at work, and they wanted to see like some wedding pictures basically, and since I had a new phone, I didn't have access to those handy other than stuff that was like
on Facebook
in an album posted by our actual photographer on Facebook somewhere. Wow. And so it was like, I spent like a good 15 minutes trying to like figure out like my passwords and how to log in again and all that. And I was like, and then where to find it at. And I was like,
right.
Yeah. So I'm not missing Facebook at all.
I'm not. I deleted it. I deleted the Facebook app off my phone.
Yeah.
Oh gosh, it's been close to 2 years now.
Oh, very good.
I haven't looked back. It is one of the best decisions I ever made.
Yeah, I mean, there's so many time wasters already. Like,
yeah, exactly.
I don't know. Yeah, I like Instagram. I mean, that's kind of like my go-to platform.
It's easy. It's quick.
It's easy.
It's what you want.
It's got a nice interface to it. Whereas like, you don't and it's not just all people, like, because you have to post a picture, it's not people just complaining all the time.
Right. Or giving their political stance or.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like,
And that's what Facebook, that's why there are all these people that were just being super negative and critical of just basically, it turned into just
any
politics.
and everything. Yeah.
Any and everything for sure. But you see just so much political rhetoric on there. That's just, I don't care.
And there's a
about
bit
this.
less of that on Instagram, I would think.
And you
know,
follow,
and it's based on like who you're following.
Yeah.
Because like when you have Facebook, where it's like all your family or coworkers, high school people, and people from everybody having differing opinions that you kind of have to scroll through. Yeah. Whereas like I feel like you get to pick out who you're into a little more on Instagram, and
right.
And they have whatever their algorithm is that they do. You see more from people, like if you like
like-minded
stuff,
folks type stuff.
like if you've liked certain pictures,
yeah,
their algorithm's gonna show you more of these people before
right.
they show you some
something
things
that
you
you're not going
scrolled
to be interested
right
in.
through before.
Right.
Yeah.
I think I would say because of when Facebook was developed, it was so new to people, the whole social media scene. I mean, there was MySpace, and this was just like kind of a different type of MySpace where everyone was just like, oh yeah, let's add each other. And everybody, oh, I went to high school with this person, I'm going to add them because they went to high school at the same high school I went to. And this person knows this person. This person is friends with that person, so sure, I'll add them.
Yeah.
And so you just get
next thing you know, you got like this jerk off when some political rant that you don't care about, and basically. Yeah,
and that's what it turns into, just all these people who you don't really know.
Yeah.
I don't care about seeing
a friend of a friend of a friend.
I don't need to see all these pictures of you and your kids or you and what you ate. I just unless I'm searching for some cool stuff like that, I don't need to see your basic pasta that you think's amazing.
Yeah, right.
And so I think that's why Facebook sucks so much now. It is just all these people that you're just stuck with. You just happen to be stuck with now because of the time when it got brought on. Everybody just started. They didn't know how to really use it.
Everybody was reaching out and like trying to expand, their group.
Yep. And so that's what's great about Instagram it's just pictures. People don't really write a ton on there.
Yeah. For the most part, they don't.
And if you want to stay away from any political rhetoric or this girl's drama, you just don't follow that person.
You don't. There's definitely not as much as that junk.
Yeah, it's great. Instagram is awesome. That's my favorite platform. I do a little bit of Twitter too, just to kind of promote the podcast a little bit.
Yeah.
Like, there's a certain amount of social media that I try to do to try and grow this thing. But Facebook,
get yourself out there.
Facebook isn't really one, and I probably should.
Yeah, I mean,
use it just to
if you're gonna use it as a platform to expand.
Yeah, it's just annoying sometimes. I don't know. There's some people on there. I guess I don't know. I've been kind of not secretive with this podcast, but I haven't been telling.
I understand what you mean. Like I was, because I know you're gonna blow up and be huge, and then people are gonna go back and listen to me, and they're like, "Who's this jerk off?" And like,
it's like I have that cool YouTube channel that's climbing mountains. That's what they're gonna say. Oh, that's Curtis, not Kurt. That guy's been around forever.
They're gonna go back and like find some incriminating thing I was talking about on this podcast, but I haven't done that yet. I don't think
you're not that controversial of a guy.
I haven't said anything to get me fired from work yet, so.
Well, that's the most important thing.
Yeah.
I say stuff on here every day trying to get fired.
Yeah, let's talk about work then. Let's
I don't want to talk about work.
Yeah, let's spice things up and say some things that like, when your boss, when you get huge and your boss goes back and listens to this podcast, they're going to be like, "What the hell?"
I like my boss. I've got a great boss.
Oh, he's great. Yeah, I actually listen to your boss on telecons all the time.
Oh, do you?
Yeah,
Albert?
I do. Yeah. I do.
I'm sure you do. That's they're always doing these teleconference things.
Yeah.
No, Albert's cool. I like him. He's a good guy.
Yeah, he's great.
He is. I do like him. He knows what he's doing. He's a smart guy. Why are we? I'm not talking about work. Screw that. People don't care about that.
Yeah, let's get off that. Let's talk about Yeah, whatever. We'll talk about whatever. Anything else?
Talk about let's go do some rock climbing.
Yeah, we could do some rock climbing.
Yeah. So are we gonna go to a gym or are we?
Yeah, we'll go down to a gym. There's actually a pretty cool new place down over in North Kansas City, so not too far.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, it's a cool spot.
Let's do it.
Very chill vibes.
Heck yeah. Everybody, this was Curtis Donegan.
Yes. If you want to put my name out there.
Sorry about that.
Full blast.
I can delete that.
Delete. You're gonna re-edit this whole thing, right?
I don't edit shit. I don't edit at all. I just throw stuff up.
Yeah, this is just raw.
So this is Curtis, not Kurt. That's what he goes by. He's got a.
No, I don't. Yeah, you can call me whatever you want.
Okay. And I do appreciate, man.
Yeah, no problem.
I honestly, as much love as you given me on Instagram and stuff, so I just threw it out there a couple weeks ago. I was like, hey, if you ever want to do the podcast.
Yeah, well, I was like, man, I'm not that interesting. I'm not sure what we're gonna talk about for. How long has it been?
I couldn't tell you.
I don't know. I was like, yeah, I'm not interesting. Why does he want me on his awesome podcast for?
Because I think you are interesting because you're always doing a lot of, like, I've been interested in your stuff and just your lifestyle basically since I first met you.
Okay.
It's because you are really chill and relaxed, but you've just got this, you've always been active and doing
this edginess.
I don't know. I don't think edginess is not
extreme sports.
I don't know. That's not what it is to me. It's just that you're active and you're doing shit.
Yeah.
Like you're always have this diet of like this pretty of staying healthy. Like you've always been the healthiest guy I know with that kind of stuff and always in shape and doing all riding your bike to and from work.
Yeah, I thought we were gonna I thought we were gonna like dive down it more into diet, and then I was like gonna rattle off some like physiological aspects of things, and I was gonna like sound like a complete idiot, like because I haven't really studied the stuff in quite a while,
right?
But I was like, okay, well,
yeah, I'm not
gonna
looked at you
if I don't go down that wormhole, I won't like rattle off some false facts or something.
Oh no, I wasn't gonna go. No, like I said, I've just been interested in like you and your lifestyle. Like I'm impressed that you just one day up and moved to Colorado because that's where you wanted to go because that's where all this stuff is, like all this extreme stuff that you're into and all the biking. It's just it inspires me and it invigorates me to see someone like you just what I say doing the damn thing.
Yeah, well, thanks.
And it's awesome, and that's what. And so. Yeah, I was surprised that you actually said that you wanted to because I do know how reserved you are. I've always known you as like the quiet guy.
Yeah.
But it's just I really do appreciate you coming here.
No problem.
I drove all the way up here.
I'm glad to do it, and I'll come on whenever you want.
Nice. All right.
I guess I got a few more topics we could ramble on about.
Yeah. Again, being a small podcaster, it's really hard to obviously get big people or people that are going to be like, oh, I know who that guy is. I'll listen to this.
Yeah.
And I'm hoping the people that I bring on here, people don't know them.
Hey, yeah, I actually listened to that last week's one. Like that's pretty huge. Like that's really cool.
Yeah,
like,
that was my biggest guest.
Yeah, that's like some nice, interesting stuff.
Yeah, and I'm hoping people see that the people I bring on here, I hope think they're interesting as I do because I think I've been getting some. Even though people don't know you guys. I think you guys have awesome topics and awesome things to talk about, and I'm hoping people see that because I like this is the kind of stuff I'm into. Like, yeah, that last week's guy was awesome. Like,
that was cool. That
was a good episode.
Yeah, I thought we were kind of gonna get more into that today, maybe, but we'll save it for another one.
Yeah, I mean, I got all kinds. Yeah, like I said, we're gonna talk.
I mean, that.
We've gone 2 hours.
Oh wow!
Can you believe that?
Wow! Yeah, that's cool.
Did you think you would have 2 hours in you?
No, I didn't think I would. I thought I was a little more boring than that, but
no. See, I knew.
I'm glad to get some time in on. Yeah.
I
got some topics for you still reserved, and just in case.
I should have brought that coffee pot up.
Oh, it's all good. I know. Keep looking at it, and it's empty, and I was like, oh man, that was some good coffee.
Sorry, man.
That's all good.
Well, we'll go get some more coffee. You're gonna show me how to climb a rock or two.
All right.
We'll take some pictures, throw it up on Instagram.
Yeah, for sure.
And again, I appreciate it, dude. This was a pleasure, and I thank you very much.
Yeah, no problem. Glad to be here. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Later.
Bye.
Later.
Bye.
Later.
Bye.
Later.
Bye.
Later.
Bye.
Later.
Bye.
Later. Later.